sews. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back to watch my videos. And if you are new, I am Jess and I am a maker based in Melbourne, Australia. And this is the corner of the internet where I talk to you about the things that I've either sewn or knitted, but mostly knitted items. Yeah, so welcome. You would have probably noticed that there is a change in quality in my videos, I hope. So I did get a new camera recently. It is the Sony ZV-1 E10, sorry, not the ZV-1. That's also a really good camera, the ZV-1. But yeah, like I, as an adult, have never actually bought a brand new camera, like ever. I usually record just with my iPhone 8, like really old iPhone. And the only camera that I have had for the past few years is a Canon 550D DSLR from like 10 years ago. It was a hand-me-down from my brother. He wanted to get into photography, but he never actually did. So I took the camera with me and I've taken lots of photos for lots of projects and things like that. But as you would know, a camera from 10 years ago doesn't have the same tech as you would now. It only records for 10 minutes. It doesn't have autofocus. It is a really good camera and I still have it with me. But yeah, so I purchased a new camera, the Sony ZV-E10. And if you're into that kind of thing, maybe you might want to look into it. It's pretty great so far. It's very beginner user-friendly because I'm not like a professional photographer in any way. I do understand the basics of photography, but yeah, this is like a great just kind of point and shoot camera. So yeah, if you notice the improvement in quality and you enjoy it, and I hope that you do, please comment down below. So today I am wearing my ranunculus, and I've spoken about it in a previous episode before, and I love it. It is so comfortable to wear. So it was knitted with Manos del Uruguay merino lace in the colorway Holly, held together with kid silk mohair from Rowan in the colorway, I want to say Candy Girl. It's just like this hot pink color. You would not miss it if you saw it on the shelves. Wow, really can't speak English today. And I know some people find mohair to be like a tad bit itchy, but for me, it is next to skin soft. I can just wear it. Well, I am wearing a shirt inside just because I don't really like wearing it next to skin because I don't want to risk sweating on my knitted garments and having to wash it every time I wear it. So I don't know, I just want to preserve my garments as much as possible. That's why I wear a shirt underneath, but it's not because it's itchy or anything. I definitely can wear it next to skin. And it's so soft and comfortable, and mohair also makes the fabric a lot less gapey, which I love because I found from my experience knitting anything where the needles are large and the yarn is fine and it's a bit gapey or fishnetty, I'm just so not into that stuff. So love mohair, totally recommend it. And the earrings I am wearing today, if you can see them, this is also Manos del Uruguay. This is like 8-ply in the colorway Autumn. Can't remember the type of yarn, but it is 8-ply. And I had it left over from another project, so I decided to make pom-poms and make earrings out of it. Yeah. So I hope that you've been well and been enjoying your time in the sun where you can. I know the weather has been fairly turbulent here in Australia, particularly for friends that are in New South Wales and Queensland. I hope you're all doing okay with the intense hail and the storms that have happened for the past few days. I hope you're staying safe. Yeah, and I'm drinking from this tea set. from T2. Isn't it just so pretty? And it is the tummy tea. It's one of my favorite teas because it's got a really nice minty flavor, but also it contains licorice root, which has like a nice hint of sweetness to it, but not like a sugary sweetness. It's like a hint of it, and it's one of my favorites. I drink this almost every night after dinner or sometimes after lunch. I really enjoy it. If you haven't tried it, I definitely recommend it. All right, so let's get to it. As I said, I have been knitting, but I don't have a lot of finished objects to share today, but this one is my recently finished objects, and it is the Ripple Camisole by Jessie May Designs. The other version of this pattern that's probably more popular is the Ripple Bralette. I have had a really close look at the patterns of people that have made it on Instagram, and I've noticed there's not that big of a difference in the pattern, in a sense that the bralette just essentially is a lot shorter, or people sometimes knit it all the way, you know, to the length of their torso, which kind of makes it sort of a tank. So it's kind of like really not that much of a difference apart from, so the body of the top is a 3x3 ribbing, and it's got these beautiful decreases here. It's so neat. And you do like an I-cord. Sorry, I don't know if you can see that. I-cord strap. There we go. Which is the first time I've done an I-cord strap before. I've done an I-cord bind off on this ranunculus, and this is the first time I've done an I-cord strap. And the difference really, what I've seen from the Ripple tank and the bralette, is that the tank has, I don't know if it's 2x2 or 1x1 ribbing on the bottom, and people tend to make it like a, you know, bra or like a crop tank. And the camisole is meant to, well, cover more. I guess the idea of a camisole is it goes all the way down to your waist. Now, the thing about this that I would note is that it looks tiny, really tiny, but it really does stretch out like a lot. So don't be intimidated by how small it looks, because obviously my waist is not this tiny, no way. So don't be intimidated by that. I didn't gauge swatch because I was naughty and a little bit lazy, to be honest. So I just kind of knitted a larger size because I knew I was using a finer yarn. This is from Giacomo Textiles in their sock yarn in the colorway Goddess. So it's 75% merino, 25% nylon. And you get 425 meters for 100 grams, which is a little bit more than what you would normally get for a sock yarn. So standard sock yarn that I usually buy is 100 grams. You get 400 meters. There are also thicker ones that are a little bit less, so you get 360 something meters for 100 grams, but I always normally just buy the 400 meter ones. So it is definitely finer yarn. So when I do wear it, I find that as it stretches out, it can be quite gapey. And I like tighter knit yarns more. I want it to actually feel like fabric. So my suggestion is when you do knit this, and you don't want it to be too thin of a fabric or too gapey, just knit the larger size so it doesn't stretch out so much, so that the garment can actually keep its sort of tightness and more of a denser, thicker fabric. And I intended for this to cover all the way down to my waist, and when I was knitting it, I was measuring from beneath my armpit to where my waist is, and that's around 11 or so inches. So I knitted 11 inches on the body, but as you would know with ribbing, when you wear it and it stretches out, it gets a lot shorter. So it's kind of become a crop top for me, which was not my intention. But also, when you're knitting a tube of 3x3 ribbing for ages, I just kind of wanted it to be over at some point. So it's partly like my bad, partly laziness, but also, I don't know, I just wanted to finish it and get it over with as well. But if you really did want it to be longer, I would definitely recommend spending more time on knitting the body to a longer length. So whatever length you think you want, just add an additional few, like I would say maybe 2 inches, because you do lose that length when it stretches out. And also in the pattern, I noticed that Jessie May writes that you should knit the body to your upper bust or something like that, to the length of your upper bust or something like that. And I thought she meant like where your bust is the fullest, which is obviously, you know, somewhere here. And I misunderstood, because when I actually tried it on, I think what I should have done was measure from where my chest is and where I want the tank to cover and how long I wanted it to be, and use that measurement instead, because you just lose a lot of length. So really, if you don't want it to be a crop top, just knit a few inches longer is my recommendation. Oh, and I'll show a picture of me wearing this tank. I wore it the other day. It was a nice sunny day, and I wore it with my Pop Life cardigan from Wool and the Gang. And it was a perfect combo really with denim jeans. And yeah, I found I was a little bit hesitant at first with wearing a sort of wool tank in the summer, because who does that? Not me. Turns out it was actually really fine. Like I didn't feel like it was too hot. I wasn't bothered by it. So love it. Recommend this pattern definitely. And you also don't need a lot of material. This was just one skein, and I still have like a lot left over from that skein. So if you have sock yarn that's only just one skein and you don't know what to do with it, and you don't feel like knitting socks, this is a really good project for that. Another tip as well in the pattern that Jessie May mentioned is when you cast on, instead of doing a normal cast on, which was what I did, you could do a provisional cast on instead, so that when you're done and you try it on and you're not happy with the length, you can kind of just continue knitting down the bottom and make it to the length that you want, because this pattern was knitted bottom up, so it's not like you can try it on along the way. So if you did want to do that, you would need to do a provisional cast on, which I've never done before. Like by concept, I understand how it works, but every time I want to start a project, I'm just really not in the mood of trying a different or learning a different cast on. So I always end up just doing like a long tail cast on, but at some point it's definitely something I want to try. So maybe next time I do knit this pattern again, which I'm happy to do. It's a really great pattern. Maybe I'll try the provisional cast on. So yeah. All right, next up is more of a work in progress. And of course, it's the West Knits Mystery Knit Along, the Shawlography. So if you are also participating in the MKAL and you have not finished your Clue 1 and you didn't fast forward to the end to see what it would actually look like, I'll give you a few moments to just kind of leave the video so you don't get any spoilers, because I will be showing you what I've knitted so far from Clue 1. All right, ready? Okay, here we go. So this is how much I've knitted so far. I have finished Clue 1. So let me show you really closely. How beautiful is that? I am so excited and I'm really happy with this. Oh my God, like look at all the colors. Really just takes my breath away. I'm really happy with my color selection. I haven't really blocked this or anything, so it's a little bit difficult to see the colors in between, but there's like a cream color, a bit of pink, purple, and some teal. And I am just really happy with how this has turned out. And you would notice in Stephen West's video, he had his sort of darker pop of color on the top, and then the I-cord sections are a lighter color, but I wanted most of my shawl to be a darker color because I feel like it would just, oh no, I've just lost some stitches. Okay, I'm just gonna go pick this up real quick. And I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Oh my Lord, that was mortifying. Those I-cord loops came off. Would not know what to do with myself. I spent so much time doing them. All right, so if you're not participating with the MKAL at the moment, I'd love to talk about the construction if you're interested in that. So far from Clue 1, I've learned so many new techniques that I haven't done before, which is really exciting and I guess part of the fun of the MKAL. So you start here at first with an I-cord tab cast on, which is something I've never done before, but since I just did that tank with the I-cord straps, I kind of got the gist of it, which I'm really happy about. It's just kind of a coincidence when I just did a different pattern that had the same elements, so it wasn't very foreign to me. Made me feel quite comfortable. And then you would do some yarn overs at the beginning. So yeah, so you see there's a little bit of that lace holy bits, which I love. And then you went on to knit an I-cord strap on the side. And so you do an I-cord strap on the side, and then you knit along with German short rows to create those ridges with, it's kind of like a garter stitch sideways with German short rows. So it kind of starts big and then becomes small, and then you pick up and then you knit all the way, and then you keep going while you alternate colors in between. And then at the bottom, once you've created this whole fan, you pick up stitches at the edges to create this shape at the bottom with the V's. How beautiful. I've never done this stitch before with the V's, so it's really pretty. It's kind of curling up a little bit, but once I steam block it, I'm sure it'll be fine. And then you continue on, just swapping colors, and then you do these sort of I-cord straps at the bottom that create this interesting loopy thing. It kind of reminds me of, like, you know, the olden days with the telephone cord and that curly bit. So I love that. And what else is there to share with this pattern? The other thing I would like to share about this pattern is it took a long time to do. I think when I first started, when Clue 1 was released, I did a Zoom knit along with some knitting friends that I met on the internet. Most of them are also Australian podcasters that are either participating with MKAL or were knitting something else. And that was really fun to just kind of do something together, watch the video together and then knit it along together. If you want to see the progress of some of the other Australian podcasters that are also knitting the MKAL, I will pop a link down below to their channels. But Mel from Down Under Dyer, Crystal from Books, Hooks and Yarn, and Ali from Fiberbound are also participating. So we've been kind of keeping each other accountable really and kind of going through the journey together, which is really fun. Yeah, so it's been really nice. And we had Kat from Oliphant and Cat who was reading out the pattern for us and giving us a lot of encouragement, and Maddie from Mad About You. So it's just always really nice to kind of get together with friends and have something to look forward to, meet up every few weeks to see each other's progress. Oh, Katie, did you just have a little dream? Do your dogs do this? They suddenly just have like a little dream while they're taking a nap and then they kind of bark in their sleep. It's really hilarious. Anyways, we've been doing our knit alongs together, which has been really exciting. And when the first clue came out, it took us, I want to say like 3 hours, maybe more. We started around 9:30 and then we stayed on the call till like 1 a.m. And towards the end, we only did like the iCard tab and one of the fans, and that was how much we'd done in that first knit along. And I feel like, I don't know if I'm a slow knitter, probably. I don't know how long it took for you to do each section of the fan, but for me it took around like maybe 45 minutes each, and there's about 9 or so sections. So that alone would have taken me at least 10 hours. And then this bit, I started knitting at 2 yesterday, and by 8 a.m. oh my god, it's like embarrassing to think about how long it would actually, well, it's not embarrassing, it's just shocking sometimes, like how long it actually takes to knit certain sections. Anyways, I won't go through the gruesome details of how long it actually took me to knit each section, but the bauble section I did, I think, in an hour, maybe more. So overall I've spent about, probably safe to say, 10 to 15 hours making this bit. Yeah, it's been a journey, y'all, I won't lie. So, but it's good, right? To test your patience and your commitment towards large projects. I am definitely behind because Clue 2 has been released yesterday night, Australian time, 9 p.m. So I have got a lot of catching up to do today. But yeah, I'll keep you posted. If you're, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you don't have to. But if you like to follow through with my journey, I am at just.knits.sews. And I'll be posting on my stories. And also, yeah, keeping you posted with my progress. So thank you for joining me today. Oh, I did want to share a bit of a life update, I guess. So I've been busy for the past few, I want to say past few weeks, but really it's been a whole year of planning. So I am starting my own sustainable fashion label. It's mostly women's wear at the moment, and it's all designed and made and sourced from Victoria, Australia, all within 15 kilometers radius. And it's always been a long time coming. It's always been a dream of mine since I was 9 years old to have my own label, and create just really beautiful, high quality products, something that I would want to wear, something that I, you know, would be proud of. It's something that is seasonless and I think will suit a lot of different women with different styles and different body shapes. So yeah, I've been working a lot on that, and it's kind of cutting down on my knitting time as well. Is probably why I'm behind. But I would really love to share with you all. Hopefully in the next month I will be ready to launch and show you some of the stuff that I've been working on. So that's been really exciting. Yeah, so thank you for joining me today, and thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel and posting comments with really helpful tips and sharing stories about their knitting journey. Please keep doing that. I love being part of this community and talking to you all about our shared passion of knitting and just kind of, you know, making our own garments, whether that's knitting or sewing. But yeah, so I will see you hopefully in the next 2 weeks or 4. I'll try to keep uploading videos every 2 weeks when I can. Yeah, so I will see you next time. Bye.